Welcome back, Auburn Enlarged. I hope that you had a great summer, and I know that you're probably feeling pretty excited about these new bad boy Promethean active panels that we have in our classrooms. But you may also be feeling some anxiety about how exactly to use them. So while you will be receiving a more in-depth training in the very near future, I hope that this basic tutorial can serve to get you by in the meantime. I hope to keep this short and sweet so that if you have any troubleshooting, you can refer back easy enough. Here we go. At the bottom of your Promethean board, off to the left, you have different ports to plug in different resources, and you also have access to other ports in the back of the Promethean board. On the bottom right, you have a bunch of different buttons. The largest one is the power button. Press that to turn on your Promethean board. Okay, so this is your home screen, and you can access this home screen at any point, no matter what you're doing on your active panel, by selecting the purple menu button at the dead center of the bottom of the screen. And you have 4 different options. One of them is a red bubble with a house inside of it. That means home. And if you press that, no matter what you're doing, it's going to bring you right back to this screen. So back to the buttons at the bottom of the panel. Next to the power button, you have a button with a snowflake on it. That freezes the screen, on or off. Obviously, if the screen is frozen, then students can only see what's currently on the screen, even if you're doing something else from your laptop. Just remember to unfreeze it, or else you won't be able to interact with the board. Next to that button, you have volume controls, down and up. Next to that button, you have a touch control. That's the button with the hand above it. And if you select touch off, students or yourself will not be able to interact with the board. So if you need to step out of the room for a minute, you may want to select this so that students can't mess with your screen. Back on to make it interactable again. Next to that button, you have a menu. This just shows you things such as your volume on and off, screen brightness, what's plugged into your active panel. And then next to that, your button with the arrow above it shows you everything that's currently hooked up to your computer. If something's hooked up, it will be highlighted in green so that you can select it. Right now, I don't have anything hooked up, so I only have one option. To scroll through the options, though, you just continuously press the button until you get to the resource you're looking for. There are 3 main areas that I'm going to review with you. The first is the icon at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. The second is the pink/purple menu button at the bottom center of your screen. And the third is this wheel of different apps. So if we click back on this purple menu button, there's a few other options besides simply going out and going back home. There is also a blue bubble with a pen on it, and that is your active smartboard. And there is an orange icon, which is called a screen grab, and it takes a picture of your active panel. So I'm going to show you how the whiteboard and screen grab can be utilized together. So let's start with the wheel. To delete an app from this wheel, you simply hold down on it like I'm going to do to Class Dojo. And you're going to get a few different options. One of them is remove, click remove, and it deletes the app. To add an app to the wheel, hold down on the center, and you'll get a new menu at the bottom of your screen. 2 options you might want to consider are change wallpaper to change the background of the entire active panel, or add bubble to add an app to your wheel. You're then going to get different options such as music, web browser, gallery, messages, email, generic app, shortcut, and folder. I'm going to click on generic app because that's where I know Class Dojo is located. When you find what you want, just click on it and it adds it back to your wheel. The primary apps that I would suggest using out of the gate are the bubble that has 4 different icons in it. That's where the district has already organized Google apps for us, such as Doc, Sheets, Slides, Gmail, Drive, Meet, and Classroom. You can add or remove from this folder. The first time you click on many of these icons, you're going to be asked to sign in, but then you won't be asked again in the future. The second icon I recommend using out of the gate is Google Chrome. I was on ESPN. This works the same exact way as it would work on your laptop. You can scroll and search for things or enter in different web addresses. If you find an image from a website that you would like to use in an interactive way with students, you can capture a screen grab. To do that, remember, press your menu button at the center of your screen, and that's the orange icon called screen grab. It takes the image and loads it directly into your active smart whiteboard for you. Once your image is in there, you can write on it using the pen feature off to the left. You can move it around by selecting it with a different tool. The most important thing to remember when using this active smart whiteboard is that depending on what tool you select, you're going to be able to do different things on the board, just like in PowerPoint. So right now, I can write on this image. That's because I have selected the blue pen. If I want to change colors, I can choose between a red, green, or black pen, or yellow. You can also select other images off of the paint menu. If I want to delete specific things that I have added to this, then you select the eraser tool. That allows me to erase small areas. If I want to delete everything I've added, then below the eraser tool, there is a whiteboard with an eraser tool on it that clears the screen of everything that you have added via pens. You'll notice the image did not disappear. If I want to delete the image, I have to select the arrow tool. That's a selector tool that allows me to either delete it, the trash can shows up, or I can shrink and move the image around. Again, when I want to delete it, press it, a red trash can comes up, and goodbye. Below the whiteboard erasing option, you have a ruler and a protractor. That just allows you to import in math tools such as rulers and protractors to use in lessons. Up at the top of the screen, you have 5 other options. At the very top, you have 3 dots. That's where you can save this document somewhere or import in other documents that you have already saved. Below that, you have a disk drive. That's to be used the very first time you save a new document, because you can select where to save it. Simply click back to return to your whiteboard. Below that, you have an image of 2 people split by a line. This is to be used if you want students to work or groups to work on separate sides of the board. Below that, you have a box with different lines in it. That's where you can change the background of the active panel whiteboard area. Right now, I just have a white background. I can select line paper if I wanted to use that for a lesson. You can't see via this recording, but the background is now line paper. Below that, you have a chart and image icon. This allows you to import charts and graphs or images from your hard drive. You have quite the selection, so search away. To get images, click on Gallery. And here you can save images from your Google Drive or any screen grabs that you may have snagged from the web. For example, here's the screen grab that I took at the beginning of this video. I clicked on it and it imported it into the whiteboard for me. To delete it, click on my arrow, select it, and goodbye. I think that about does it for how to use the whiteboard. So again, to get out of this app, click on your menu button and home. So the final icon that I would recommend using out of the gate is the HDMI In, like I mentioned earlier. And what that will allow you to do is access your laptop from your workstation. Go see Aquaman when it comes out, DC rocks. If your laptop is hardwired into your black box at your workstation, which is your port replicator, then you're going to be able to access it the way that I just did. If it's not plugged in, you won't have that access. You can interact with your laptop the same way that I was just interacting with the active panel without anything hooked up, in that I can control it from my laptop or I can control it from the screen still. So for example, if I click on the home button, it's going to take me back home. If I click on the HDMI in, it's going to bring me back to my laptop. Once in my laptop, I can work with my laptop icons, just like you would from your laptop. Okay. Again, that option can be controlled from your laptop or directly from the active panel. If you wanted to wirelessly connect to the active panel, you would use ActiveCast, and that would basically turn your active panel into a projector only, so you would not be able to interact with it via touch. I think that about does it. If for any reason you do not have an HDMI in bubble app and you can't find it, the final icon that I mentioned was in the bottom left. If you click on that, you will always see HDMI in as an option. If you click on that and you get a black screen, it means that your laptop is not plugged in at your workstation. That about does it. I wish you all nothing but the best. Good luck and have a great year.